was 1999, I worked at a really large HMO, and I had 3 women on my client list who had horrific problems, terribly traumatized. I'd been trained as a trauma treatment specialist by some of the best in the country, and yet everything that I knew wasn't helpful. 2 of these women were in extremely bad shape in terms of being suicidal, abusing chemicals. We've had to hospitalize them. They were on a variety of psychotropic drugs that were to help them, but nothing would penetrate the excruciating pain and nightmarish remembrances that they had about what they experienced in childhood. And as I searched for something that could relieve them of their pain, I came across tapping therapy. And it was the most stunning, relieving process that you can imagine. I almost couldn't believe it as I worked with these people using these techniques. I trained with one of the originators of these tapping techniques, Roger Callahan, and I later worked with many, many others who used these techniques and developed different applications for them. But the 3 women that I worked with all felt a healing that was profound and are living lives today that no longer are wrapped in terror. Now, there have been so many things over the years, so many people to tell you about in terms of what was truly dazzling. But I want to tell you something important before I tell you this next story. Tapping techniques are the implement by which the body is freed, its energy is released, its nervous system is released from a state of captivity from the past. Tapping techniques allow the body, once they have been sufficient, the body, once these techniques have been used sufficiently, to release its energy to heal. The tapping doesn't heal, the body heals. That's really important to understand, particularly when I tell you this next story. I've worked with a young person in the last year or 2 who came in, and at first when I saw her, I thought she had chemotherapy. I thought she was suffering from some horrific disease because there wasn't a hair on her head. She had eyebrows and eyelashes, so I knew this wasn't a problem called alopecia, but the hair on her head was gone, so you know, the conclusion that you would make is this was chemotherapy. Wrong. She also had eczema on many parts of her body, and she was terribly asthmatic, used her rescue remedy at times daily, which is only to be used in the most dire consequences, rather than the most dire situations. So her asthma was totally out of control, her use of medicines were totally out of control, and there was a self-injury activity that she was doing when she was really nervous. She was introduced to the tapping techniques, and she was one of those blessed clients who actually followed direction and did her homework, and we were able to do some phenomenal work. Phenomenal work. Today I can tell you the self-injury is gone, the eczema is gone. She no longer uses her rescue remedy for her rescue inhaler rather for her asthma. She's just on her maintenance, and even then it's being reduced by her doctor. By the way, all this has been done while she continued to be followed by her MDs. She has a head of hair today. And this is the 3rd time she lost her hair. And most people will tell you, 3rd time, it's over. You're not going to get it back. We got hair. And we just don't have a sprinkling of hair. We got hair. We got a really cute little pixie hairdo going on up there. And so it's very exciting. Now, it's been work. This hasn't been a 5-minute miracle. We've worked for over a year, and she's been very diligent. But this was a long and kind of complicated process, things that started very early in her life experience. And so we've had to work to clean out a lot. But because she was diligent, because she stuck to it, she was able to free her body from her past history of stress and difficulty, and then that energy came on board and her body was able to balance it out. Now, I'm a classically trained psychotherapist, and I treated my clients with psychotherapeutic techniques for the first 20 years of my practice, and the last 15 I have been using tapping techniques. I integrate them into my practice, And it has been a phenomenal assistance to my clients. It has been, I hesitate to use the word, but it's been truly a blessing that they have been able to take these techniques and use them themselves because it's empowering. I love being able to share it with them and so that they can use it in terms of healing themselves in the moment and not storing stress as it arises. It's just been an amazing and phenomenal and blessed technique